You're listening to Bleed TV, the only podcast of today's best shows and movies. I'm Zach.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Cash.
And tonight we got Into the Badlands. This was the 8th episode of second season. What was the title of this one?
Sting of the Scorpion's Tail.
It's good enough for me.
I mean, it flows well. I really enjoyed the title name. I don't know what it has to do with the episode, but...
Completely clueless. I'm going to tell you right now, I've put it out there, for Miles Miller to, maybe join us like Al Goff did. And I'm hoping that maybe we get a little bit of explanation of the titles. That's one of my goals for the next interview we have with the guys. Can you explain? Is it metaphor?
Are we
is it
supposed
symbolism?
to know what these mean?
Are we supposed to be able to attach this and that or so on? Because right now we're striking 2 out of 8 as something we can actually tangibly say, that makes total sense, but the rest of them were like...
Hey, 25%. I've done worse.
Yeah, so... that's kind of where it's at. So, but this one was directed by Stephen Fung. This is the second one in a row that we know about it. By the way, thank you, Stephen, for kind of pimping us a little bit on Twitter. We kind of had some differing opinions last episode, and I think this one might be an improvement. So, at least for me, we'll see how it goes. But what did you guys think of the episode overall?
I thought it was a fantastic episode, except for the beginning. I didn't like the beginning fight scene. It was a little too slow. I didn't feel like they were actually fighting. But outside of that, I love the rest of the episode.
All right. What about it, bro?
It was a little 50-50 on this one, kind of like you were last week.
Yeah.
There's some things in there that something I was hoping they would never put in another episode. They put in this episode. If we all want to just talk about the...
Hold on. No. Pause. Before we do that, we'll get to that. I know where you're going. I want to highlight this. We missed Cash last week because, we had his coughing escapade. But do you realize that over 75% of our predictions of this episode pretty much came to fruition based on a singular preview?
That's why you guys stop watching those previews.
I mean, do you realize that? I mean, I went back and I listened to our last pod to check what our predictions were, and it kind of just... The only thing is we were a little off is we were like, the final scene was, him putting the knife, that stuff,
yeah.
Which there was more to it, but it was pretty darn close. You know what I mean?
And if you watch the preview for next week, it's hella spoilers.
I know it, man. I'm finna turn into Cash and just be like, I'm done watching. Turn that off. Yeah. Stop it. God, I feel like we're watching Terminator Genesis previews.
Oh, you never want to be lumped with that in terms of
previews. I mean,
it's like, hey,
You'll be lumped with that for anything.
Yeah, really, no doubt.
Well, I mean, they got Khaleesi.
Yeah.
I don't know her real name.
Oh, yeah, that's what you watched that one for.
She should have just stayed with Thrones.
Oh,
yeah, really.
I tried.
She blew it. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to say overall, the episode for me, it was a little better than last week. I just didn't. What I feared the most was just it was almost too fast paced to me. In parts of it, it got from A to Z really, really quick.
Okay.
And then, like Jake said, there's one big one, and there's 2 other ones just like
2 moments
that I was like, I'm straight calling. What were you thinking? But anyway, let's just start with the episode and get into it. It opens up. You see the new marker. This is Chow's people, and her symbol is the peacock. Am I correct by that? That's what I saw in that logo.
No, this isn't.
No.
This isn't Chow's people. It's the wooden baron.
No, I'm sorry. This is what's his name? Oh God, I knew his name too. That's right. The peacock symbol is of the guy. The very first fight scene we get, where we go into the room full of sheets, trying to figure out what the hell the sheets were for.
Scarface kind of looking guy.
Yeah.
Dang, I don't remember his name.
I know it. Gosh, I knew I had it too before we started the pod. But anyway, first question: what were the room full of sheets for? Any ideas?
I'm not sure.
Maybe that was his trade.
Is he like a silk?
Maybe he was a fabric trader.
I could see him being very fine fabric or something.
What was crazy about that place is that outside it was a lot of farm animals, and it was a unique barren establishment. It looked very rural. Does that make sense? With the way it was set up.
Well, you know what it looked like? It looked like a factory.
Yeah. Textiles, I mean? Like you're
maybe
taking the fur of animals and different things like that. And so it was kind of curious to see that room with the fabric hung and everything like that. Cool set piece.
Baron Hassan.
There you go. Exactly. Well, it's pretty neat, and waste no time, running a man through and getting to the first fight scene.
It's just, I mean, was I the only one who didn't like this fight scene, or did it just not feel like they were actually fighting?
Well,
Like the slow motion stuff didn't feel like there's no power in any of their swings or anything to me.
I don't know. It didn't bother me a whole lot. I was just kind of like, this room with sheets, I mean, I kept going back to the sheets, you know what I mean?
I was kind of focused on the sheets myself. And they didn't play much with the silhouettes, attacking
No.
the silhouettes. It was more just like running past them.
It was quick
Right.
camera work and a lot of noise over, like you said, playing with it.
And I'm with you. I was fine with the fight scene. I wasn't fine with the widow saying, "The only thing I need from you is your head." I was just like, ugh,
Don't,
jeez.
you don't need to say that. You know what I mean? There's only one thing I need, and then do your business. Don't say I have to lop your head off, or I need your head or whatever like that.
Yeah.
It was just one little too much of a line. Cool effects. I like that he was pulled the knife out of his sleeve and went at her, and and cut it and got the blood spray.
The arm cut was great.
Yeah, I mean,
Sliced his hand off.
Yeah, I mean,
Cool. And so was the throat neck slash, whatever, and just didn't even show it. Just the blood spatter.
Yeah.
All cool.
Yeah, it was.
3 words were unnecessary.
That's right. You take those 3 words away, changes the caliber of the scene. It finishes strong going into the opening credits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, him losing an arm and not seeing the neck was actually kind of cool from the back side of his head.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought that was pretty neat. The blood spatter was awesome. So all that was well done. I know what you're saying, Cash, is that when you're surrounded by 6 butterflies, you've never seen anybody else last longer than 4 seconds. You know what I mean? And this is the first time that this is the first guy who can actually see the butterfly stars coming at him, and he's able to deflect 2 of them. Every other time you've ever seen one, it's by the time you realize it's already stuck in your forehead. Yeah. You know what I mean? This guy's able to deflect 2. And so I wouldn't call it a non-plausibility, but it was the first time you've ever seen.
It just felt different. Like the pace of it.
But you do want the Barons to be able to be more. In this show, the Barons had to be just as deadly as your regent or worse. You're actually your best warrior is your Baron in some.
Supposedly, I mean, we haven't gotten a definitive.
Well, that's what they've
answer on
set
that.
up.
Yeah,
that's what they've set up is that they're just as lethal as the next person in their crew. And that's what made me always giggle about Jade. A cog can give her a good, punch in the gut, and that's all. It's over.
Poor Jade.
And so, it is what it is. But like I said, it goes to the opening credits, and voila, we're off to the episode. It immediately goes to Sonny and Baji and MK, and they're at this destination. Now, the sign on the wall, Mexal. Did you see this?
I did not.
It's such a call to.
I was like, where's the Trump sign? Where is something else? I mean, like, are we really going to have where we're doing illegal crossing the border into the Badlands with a place called Mexal?
With coyotes.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, this is like bad PC. I mean, it's
It's a nice little funny.
You call it funny. I mean,
Hey, my people can't even cross the border.
I don't know. To me, I was like, it was touch much for me. I mean,
understandable.
What are you achieving by doing this?
Nothing.
I mean, really, you just made coyotes out to look like real shitty people.
Don't trust your coyote.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
Never trust coyotes. Immigrating is bad.
Yeah. I mean, and then of course, we're tunneling in the wall. I mean, there's just so many, Anyway.
No coyote I've ever met has a elaborate tunnel like this.
Yes.
No, but I did love Baji's and Sonny's and MK's exchange through this whole thing. Can we trust them? I mean,
No.
we paid them. Our coin's good. It's just like, guys, this is where you say thank you. I'll take it, whatever. It's just like, I don't think you're going to get that thank you, Baji.
Did any of you think this was going to go?
No.
Absolutely not.
But I did think it was going to go a little bit differently.
Well, unfortunately, in the preview, we saw the bus. And they get on the bus. So it's like, oh, well, we're well aware of how this is going to end.
Yeah, we know the bus does not survive its last trip here.
Yeah.
Another example, like you said, the preview just chainsawing your visual entertainment moving forward through the episode. And again, it doesn't take long. You go through one set of doors, you go through the next set of doors, and voila, there's Chow's entire, little
Brigade.
posse and brigade there. And I mean,
So we know Chow is a human trafficker.
Yes.
Correct.
That's
She
her
deal-
resource.
Yeah, it's people.
Is people. So this makes total sense to me.
it does. Like, she's grabbing people, and this is how she makes her, her dough.
If we all remember that classic American film, The Cowboy Way.
Oh my!
This is what happened.
Good. Did you really reference a
don't know
rope
if that
suckered movie? That's
We're referencing this or calling it the American classic.
We're talking Woody Harrelson and Kiefer Sutherland at their finest.
one of my favorite comedies.
But remember what happens? It's like, oh, you think you're getting, immigrated into the country, brought over, but really they're just tricking you into working a sweatshop.
That's right.
So it's just what's happening.
This is your freedom, but it's not
Yeah.
really.
They just pay extra and they just rob all these people. So yeah, this makes sense to me. This looks really legitimate. How shitty people would do.
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with the double crossing and making coyotes look even worse than they really are, if possible.
All right. So what do we think about
Crossbows?
godfathering this thing with crossbows?
I'm not sure if crossbows can go through a bus. I mean, I guess maybe if they can go through plate armor and history.
There's not much to a bus wall. I mean,
It is pretty
very
thin
simple.
metal.
But
But
I'm
my
also,
thing is,
just like lay low in the middle. Don't be near the
they were shooting these crossbow bolts
through the window.
at like the pillars and the hood and the fenders and stuff. It's like, hey, there ain't nobody over there. They're not hiding in the engine compartment.
It
But
was
maybe-
purely. Let's see how many arrows were ruined in the scene. I mean, you think about Chow's people. All right, dude, we just lost like 1,700 arrows into this bus, and they're non-recoverable. I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
Yeah, for later in the episode when Chow's running out of ammunition, it's probably because she's letting people
Hey, so
fire
maybe get
every
the
arrow.
bus.
Well, and not to mention, if you go inside the bus, there's a Baji-shaped flat space with crossbow bolts all around him.
Yes,
Because he's just
That's-
like leaned up against the wall and all these spikes sticking out. It's like, oh, well, that's where they were hiding. It's like perfect gaps under their arms.
Yeah, that's
Some
what
Wile E.
bothered me.
Coyote shit.
The
That's
shape
what
of the
bothered me.
300-pound man, we might have wanted to shoot just one in the middle.
That's what bothered me. I thought it was cool to do like an homage of them shooting the bus up. I thought it was neat that you did have arrows that went through and some that didn't and so on. What I didn't like is to have that many go pierce through, or the ones that had pierced through the wall and were halfway through the stuck that nobody even got a nick.
No wounded.
Not even a piece of glass scraped somebody. I mean, it was just like you said, and Baji sitting there and he turning and looking and they're poking through right by him and he's watching them. I'm like, I'm not leaning against that wall.
No,
I'll
like
be
I'm in the
laying flat.
middle, laying
Yeah.
down in the middle of the aisle.
I mean, and even if it did penetrate that wall, it wouldn't stick far in you.
No.
And that was so. To me, this whole arrow thing was a really cool visual effect you could make for the show. I thought it was executed well. I liked that he didn't have every arrow blow through the wall because that would have been so awful. But I did not care for that they're all completely unscathed. That right there was crap to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Show one of them take an arrow partially into an arm or get scraped across. Something.
But even more than that, what I didn't like, I love the first part. He sends two guys on to fetch.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they get tossed right out windows.
And then immediately just send the entire brigade over there.
Yeah.
Like, okay, guys, circle the bus.
light it up with arrows. No big deal. But we already know that all three of them are unscathed.
Yeah. Thank you, preview.
But a single guy walks on there with his sword out, and it's like, oh my God! We're dead. We're toast. We give up. We're done. You know what I mean? I didn't understand.
Because we know Sonny's good for taking out at least, 15 by himself?
Anybody that came on that bus
In a contained
Yeah.
space was
should have gone through some window of some kind.
yeah.
They should have been like pulling the bolts out of the thing and be like, let's go.
But also, how do none of them know who Sonny is? That was my biggest thing with this.
I
The
think
biggest,
Sonny's
baddest
known for
Clipper.
he's known for his tattoos, though.
So you're telling
Yeah,
me that
I don't know. I mean, I feel what you're saying there, Cash, but you have to understand, like, I believe in the first season they talked about how there's not been a war with other barons, and so there's never been a need for them to exit outside of their boundaries into another baron's boundaries. And it's been that way for a while, so I don't think that's so much of an issue.
Maybe, but I mean, the guy who's killed over 400, I think is going to be well known. In my opinion.
I understand. They immediately get, they get captured and they're put into a prison at Chow's place. And Sonny's grand plan, which I love the commentary, Baji's like, I'm a BSer, your BS is what got us in here, that kind of stuff.
And I like they were all in separate cells. They weren't.
Well, Baji and
Sonny are in
the same cell. MK.
Where I thought they were separated by a middle one.
No,
Okay.
they were stuck together, and so he's like, I need to talk to the Baron. And he's like, why? And he lifts that shirt up. Thank you. That right there. If any other commentary was unnecessary. That is 100% the way to go. Like you said, those tattoos are gonna. There's your cred. There's your resume right there.
Do all Clippers from all Barons get the same tattoos, or is that just a strictly?
We know Quinn's do for sure.
Yeah.
Even Quinn has them on him. We find out later.
Oh,
That was pretty cool.
Some are really bad makeup jobs.
Yes.
By the way, because there's one that's smeared on his back shoulder. How they didn't catch it, I don't know.
I think that was a scar. I saw what you're talking about.
It was
I
a
know what you
light
mean.
faded version of one.
It was brown, though. That's what I'm saying. I think it was a scar.
That is the best looking scar. No, I'm calling bull crap. Anyway,
But I appreciate seeing Quinn having that.
that's true, because he was a Clipper at one time. So, immediately talks to Chow. Before you know it, they're BFFs. Here's the plan. I need you to take your... And now, this guy is not her regents. This is another fellow, the bald guy. Because her regent was the one that got stabbed in the foot.
Yeah, he got killed during the...
right, so this is a new regent.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, this guy could have gotten the promotion.
And it basically leads to Sonny wearing the cleanest white suit with the extra fancy buttons all down the left side of his...
Buttons, nothing. These are buckles.
Buckles all the way down.
Personally, I really like the look.
I thought his look was pretty cool. I just hate, he was gleaming white where everybody else had the dingiest, nasty white suits. But I'll be honest with you, I was happy. Because if they all looked pristine, I'd have been pissed.
Yeah, I mean, that laundry bill would just be way too much.
I mean...
And you deal with human trafficking, so there's mud and dirt everywhere.
This is all ridiculous. Why would you choose white? Why?
White is a bad color.
Because it looks good.
You can't hide. You can't do anything.
And if you're a killer, you're going to have blood all over you.
If she was on a mountain in the snow, badass. I mean, we're talking about
Don't
ninjas.
bring logic into the show.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Everybody's
You're
got
right.
the colors, man.
You're right, because all of them have the nipple clamp
Yes.
buckle in the center of their chest, and that's totally necessary.
Just seems like somebody is afraid they can't wear some fashion.
It
That's
doesn't-
what you sound like right now.
But did you see?
I did.
It wasn't connecting like two pieces of clothing together. It was just a random buckle across the chest.
I got
It
nothing.
makes them look swole.
Yes. Right. It's like you see a mannequin, and it's like, man, that shirt looks good on that mannequin. Then you go to the back, and there's like this huge clamp on the back.
Yeah,
It was tying the shirt in a knot.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like, I see now.
Yeah.
That won't look that way on me.
No.
You're not supposed to wear it like
It's
that out of the
tight, but
store?
it's around the midsection, not anywhere around the chest.
Yeah, they have rules against tying your shirts in a knot like that. In polite society.
Oh, good Lord. Anyway,
But
so
yeah,
we
they hatched this plan, and I mean, don't you feel bad for this new region? He's like, yeah, we need you to go over there and be a traitor.
Yeah.
Walk right into the widow's lair and hope,
They don't murder you
Yeah.
on the spot. Make sure they can find you. Should I wear the white outfit? Do you think that's okay?
Shine it up a bit.
Yeah. And of course he visits Baji, and he's like, "Oh, you worthless piece of crap!" And he drops the.
Were you impressed with how well Sonny planned ahead on this plan? I mean, everything was pretty much thought about.
Yeah,
I don't know if I saw that from
it's
Sonny.
not like he had to come up with a real elaborate plan. The bottom line is that I'm valuable because I can do one thing, and I need MK for this. And on my way over there, I'm going to slip him a key to get out the door. I mean, it's
Hey,
not
I
a
mean, to think about
huge,
grabbing that
elaborate
key.
plan, but it was well executed and well put together.
Yeah, I didn't have too much problem with this. I didn't
No.
think it was convenient or anything like that. I thought it
No,
was pretty
I
well
thought,
done.
if anything, it was the most plausible.
It was, and I love that that Chow took it and was like, "Look, this is a win-win situation.
It is.
If he dies, awesome. If he doesn't, the widow's dead, so I have nothing to lose." And
Yeah.
I thought that was and she was quick to the point with it.
No doubt. Let's cut back over to the widow. Now, there's a scene around this time where Widow and her crew visit Quinn down in his lair, and they compare boxes.
Exchange heads.
Yeah. And
Poor old knuckle duster.
I
Dead.
mean,
Don't even get to see his house.
No.
Chubby Knuckles, we lost him, man. I was like,
I would have rather seen that invasion than the one we saw with Widow. Sadly.
I really wanted to see them both. I think it would have been disappointed, but
That lard, you would have seen him die in a bathtub. That's how he would have died.
Oh,
Yeah.
Quinn's not.
just
no.
ran him through while he's taking his tub.
No, you just probably would have seen him get his throat cut and just fill the water up with. Because you look at him, he's an oaf.
Yeah, I mean, dude, how about the boxes with the rest of the
There's
head?
the family.
Yeah.
I
Wife
mean,
and children's
wife
heads.
and children, and
The
immediate family.
daughters.
Pretty dark stuff.
Quinn
Very
is
dark,
ruthless.
very very dark. There was a comparison on social media where like, man, it's like Game of Thrones around here. Da, 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 da. It's like, no, it's not Game of Thrones, because if it was Game of Thrones, all the boxes would have been open for you to see
They've been on spikes for your display
on
pleasure.
sticks, and shooting their arrows at it.
Oh, we're supposed to put them in boxes? My bad.
My bad. My bad. Who made these really nice boxes for heads?
Yeah, I thought you meant like Brillo sacks, like I got here.
It's like I was watching Seven, but Joffrey fit a little bit better. So
What's in the box?
There it went. There it went. So they walk away. You know what I'm noticing in this scene right here is that you see Tilda, you see Vale, like that, and I'm looking around, and we ain't got 15, 20 guys. We got a heck of a lot more than
Oh,
15
we
to
got
20 guys.
solid 40, 50 in there now.
And I was like shaking my head, like, where did these SOBs come from? Because they're all grunge. They're all, like they're all the same, tore from the same cloth. I mean, I was shaking my head, man. They did not have this force. Their numbers multiplied many times during this episode.
has Quinn's regent passed away?
Yeah,
Did
he was
die?
MIA.
Was that
Yeah,
the
we
only
got
one?
2 new guys.
Yeah, we got this bald head guy with the jaw that was way out there, and some other guy who's,
Some
fuzzy
weird
hair.
wrinkly face.
Yeah, and I was like, what?
Okay, I was making sure I wasn't the only one who was like,
He was MIA,
Yeah.
Must have been the Porta John during these scenes or something. But, I mean,
Oh, there's all these important moments where the widow's coming. He's out there taking a deuce.
yeah.
Yeah.
well, it takes him 20 minutes to get all the knives off and the leather and everything here.
It's pretty tough.
Where is he? He's taking a crap. It'll be an hour before he gets back here.
He's like a mascot. Takes him a while.
But,
We had the Quinn and, like you said, Vale, or not Quinn, the Tilda and Vale scene, which there was a lot of emotion.
there was, and I think this is just the beginning of what the preview spoils is that, the turmoil that's going to create with Tilda and the widow, and learning that, Vale was given back and all that kind of stuff. It was all right. I mean, there wasn't, I think it was just to get that point across. You know what I mean? That, you think your mother is high and mighty, but you don't realize that she's sacrificing all of what she considers her to be who she is to achieve a goal. That makes you no better than what you're siding with, which she's got a great point, I mean, if you have to become the enemy to achieve your goal, then you are the enemy, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. I mean,
That's pretty good. I thought Vale said it good. She's a predator.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Just
No, I mean, I thought it was great acting. Like they used it was the right length of time.
Well, I'm going to tell you, the MVP for the episode for me was Vale's character. To me, she did a lot of stuff this episode that was like, yeah, that was pretty rough to watch.
Her physical acting was like out of
to
this
me,
world.
I'm kind of like last episode, MK kind of stole the scene for me. I think Vale had the hardest and yet accomplished it well spot for the entire episode.
we owe it all to the guy who runs around with the spray bottle and
Oh,
douses her
dude,
forehead.
it's
and
on my
chest.
notes right now. Even her right above her
Chest.
cleavage was just dripping with sweat.
Her forehead and chest are.
What kills me is this baby's wrapped up like 4 layers like a burrito. And, you know, that baby's got to have like sweat like you have never. I mean, it's probably 27 pounds extra of just sweat residue.
This child's running a blazing fever.
He just steady 103.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
That thing ought to be just a diaper running around. He's cooking.
Just change his name to
know it,
Poach.
man.
Just,
Let's be honest. Vale's a terrible mother.
oh God! And we've lost everybody.
She is sweat cooking that child. You know
It would
what I
have been
mean?
better if Lydia got her.
Jesus. Oh gosh.
So he comes back. Why's my baby red? This is a lobster.
Yeah, really. He's partially cooked.
I mean, just imagine the chafing this poor child is enduring. Yeah. This would be fussy baby.
Have y'all noticed that even in social media, we've never seen the baby changed or cleaned?
Yeah, I don't care.
I mean, I'm okay.
Some
with
people
that.
brought that up, like, you know.
It's like saying Jack Bauer never used the bathroom. Okay, like we get it.
We
It's
got it.
24
You know,
hours.
it's just something that was brought up, you know, when we were talking about the baby itself, you know. All right, so let's just go ahead and finish the whole Quinn Vale thing, you know, the whole 9 yards. It basically leads to where we have dinner with
bloody steak.
the bloodiest steak known
Okay,
to man.
like,
This
I'm-
looks borderline like grape juice on it.
I'm
It's
a
so
fan of medium rare, like maybe a little bit leaning towards rare. This thing, I don't even think it saw the fire.
No, that
Like-
thing was still mooing.
Like,
you know, as Rodney Dangerfield, it just had the jockey marks still on it. You know what I mean?
Do we need to bring back Cowboy Way once again?
Yes, I know it. Knocked
its
the
horns
horns
off,
off,
wipe its
wiped his
ass,
and
total
put it on
plate.
plate.
Not once, but twice we were able to bring
That's
the
right.
American Classic.
That is right. You know, but
But-
yeah, that it was
I mean,
for a
just
fact.
kill it on the
You know,
table.
my wife who loves everything to be done. You know, I'm like, come on, baby. You know, that little red's not bad for you. She was over there going gagging and everything else. I was like, calm it down, sweet cakes.
Yeah.
Calm it down.
But I mean, his classic line ender of "Guys, hurry up! Your meat's gonna get cold." I was done. I was like,
I'm going to the restroom now.
This meat ain't. It's still got a pulse. I mean,
Why is there so much blood on the plate?
Why
He's
is
like,
that? Why is my steak moving when I go to stab it?
it's still screaming.
Moo?
Oh,
God.
all right, we're done. This is Bleed
Cash
TV.
mooing over here.
Hey,
Yeah, really, dude.
I mean,
way to take it to the next level. Right
dude,
there.
that steak was at the next level, or the first level, however you want to call it.
Oh, good God. Anyway, so as they're continuing to devour the steak as it cries, they comes up with the genius idea of, you know, I'll never let the baby out of my
By
sight
they,
again.
you mean Quinn?
Yeah, and we're gonna get married. I'm gonna have as many wives. And I was really surprised. This is kind of like a rerun of how he did Lydia with Jade. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I was kind of surprised we even got through this again. And she's like, no, and it ain't gonna happen, and you know, and then you just
He
kinda-
drops it on her though.
Yeah.
Well, I could just raise him by myself.
Yeah, really.
With you dead.
Yeah, considering you're cooking him already, you know. I mean.
Yeah, it might be better for the child.
Yeah. So she realizes, and Lydia, you know, gives her advice, you know, think about this and think about that. The bottom line is you have to endure this for one night and or
Just close your
future
eyes
to
and
be
think
able
of
to,
England.
you know, have a future with your child, you know. In which, you know, like she said, there's no way and so on. And I think there was about 99% of women out there who would agree with her, you know, assessment of the situation.
Oh yeah, just give away your child. Screw your child.
Yeah.
Can't deal with one night of passionate love from Quinn.
Passionate, huh?
Yeah.
That's
There you go.
exactly what this is going to be.
That way to spit it.
I mean, I'm just saying.
So it was
You
about.
sound like the guy who had the horse, you know. Yeah, it was one night of passion.
over here like
He's
little
dead
finger.
now.
Sansa, just have one night of passionate love with
Yeah,
Ramsay.
that's
You'll be fine. It'll be okay.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway,
You tell me the woman who gives up their infant child for one.
man, there are women in this world who give up children for their next trick or their next drug dose or whatever you want to say.
It's-
You know, this is not that. But
This is true. Vale's a huge junkie. And,
well, she does have a giant bottle of cocaine in her medicine.
that's why
Yeah.
she's sweating so much.
she
She's got
sweats
withdrawals.
so much.
You see her jowls moving.
All right, enough. Anyway, so we get to the marriage, and Dude, how about this ceremony?
This is actually pretty cool. Like, I really enjoyed seeing this marriage ceremony.
I'm gonna be honest with you. You know, I was watching this and I watched it 2 or 3 times, and I was like, we hadn't had a chance to really talk about a set piece yet. You know what I mean? And I was like, all right, this is pretty neat. There must have been 1,000 candles.
I can believe that she was sweating that much with all of those candles.
I mean, that thing had to be a hot box. And Quinn was wearing that rug. I mean, that thing, that's what it was to me, man.
I love the costumes in this show.
Yes.
Not a fan of his marital garb.
No, it literally looked like you picked it off the floor, dusted it, and put a hole in it and wrapped it on you. I felt like the only thing missing was the steel plate under it and Clint Eastwood's hat. You know what I mean?
A duster, a poncho.
Yeah. I mean, it just seemed like it was a little, I don't even see the necessity to have that big old, you know what I mean? I mean, I could see her dress was very elegant. It was beautiful. The whole 9 yards, it fit. And then him, I mean, it looked very rigid. And like I said, it just like a huge rug hanging off his chest. And,
Maybe it was knife proof.
But here's my other thing. Let's go ahead and be really honest here. And this is the part that bothers me is that you have been exiled to underground. Okay. You are living off what's left in a cave or this old subway, and you're eating what you can hunt outside. Mm-hmm. There is no textile mill. There's nothing out there who's making these outfits and these garbs that are so on for you to have this occasion ready. You know what I mean? That just, it really, really surprises me that they have all this amazing supplies in this place for the very next ceremony every single time for whatever it is. And so that crap bothers me.
Able to generate human beings.
Yeah, well,
in this place.
Well, it's like the 6th day. I mean, it's like Schwarzenegger around the corner. They're creating clones right and left.
Not
I mean, maybe he took some of this.
I mean, that's what I'm getting
no
at.
Cowboy way.
I mean, just serious.
I mean, he's already raided his old territory, and he just raided Bear Claws.
Yeah,
so,
but did you looking at this outfit right here? Do you think this is what he wore? Based on the clothing attire when he was the Baron? Upstop? No. If you remember, he wore very proper clothes, long coats, this, so on. Down here, it's a whole different look for all these guys.
It's very emo.
Yeah, I mean, and so this is a new outfit.
Hey, Baron.
It looked brand new.
Baron Bear Claw could have worn it. Like, I mean, we don't know.
Bear Claw? You mean talking about Chubby Knuckle?
Yeah.
I mean, this stuff's blue, man.
He ate a lot of bear claws from the gas station.
So that was my gripe. I mean, it's small,
fair, yeah.
For this, but like, if you're going to show these people living in borderline filth, and you see her sweating, this other stuff, and you don't see some woman over there, sewing something together with a foot pedal and everything else going, don't show me this brand new rug you got wearing like Clint Eastwood. Okay,
that's fair.
So they do their little. How about the slicing of the hands again? I mean, I tell you, your hands have got to have like 47 scars on them if you're a Baron.
Well, at this point, he doesn't even feel it.
Yeah.
Just calluses.
That tickles.
Like, if I was Vale, I'm just going to try to go a little bit extra deep on the hand, see if I can take away a little nerve damage.
Yeah. Now, I did like the part of her holding that knife for a second or two. She didn't have to say nothing. And you're like,
Lydia's like,
do I run him through right here?
Don't do it.
Yeah, Lydia's like, give me that knife.
Oh, she took it so quick.
Yeah, no, almost stumbling to go get it too. So I like that. That right there, again, another scene where your body language does more for the scene than you communicating.
Than lines. Yeah,
100%. And of course, you had the kiss, and she did it. Like I said, she did a really good job of doing all her parts. I was really impressed with how she did that. You could tell the kiss was uncomfortable. Heck,
her
it was
level of
uncomfortable.
disgust throughout like this entire sequence is
keywords right there. And then it's back to the love nest or the dinner room table or his office or his movie room or his opium smoking room, whatever you want to call it.
Some dingy hole.
Yeah, really.
Speaking of dingy holes.
Oh God.
I'm done. Good night. How dare you?
Speaking veiled in such a poor way.
Oh, God. Again, you haven't seen a shower down there either. And the must has got to be good with considering the sweat level on these people.
You can clearly see that his men haven't showered.
No. And there's no fresh air considering you only have, one window in a locked room, and otherwise it's the door up in front that's closed.
Skylight.
So could you imagine the odor? It's like Walking Dead level stink here.
Oh, God.
It's just pure Famunda juice.
It is pure Daryl 24/7.
Oh God, yes. Anyway, so they get to the nitty gritty, and about this time you see Lydia contemplating get out of here because
Not contemplating. She's in a complete.
Well, you
sprint.
see her, but because the reason she's contemplating this is because Vale's like, take care of my child, take care of her, giving you the clue of
Yeah.
I'm
about
going to
to
do
murder,
the deed.
yeah.
You know,
I'm going to die.
right.
Killing this mother.
Yeah, and so like you said, Lydia waits and stuff. And like you said, you see these 50 dudes out here. You know, they just respawns. You know, it's like Call of Duty. The guys just keep popping up for a war scene, and she takes off. Now
and leaves the door open like a rookie mistake.
It is rookie, but not only that. This is what bothers me. Old curly hair guy, one of the wrinkly fella. He hears. He looks over there. The guy tells him she's gone. This, that, or so on. And so she's got at least 10 steps on him, out of sight, out of mind. Would y'all agree?
He had the shortcut, bro. He got in front of her.
And somehow he just turns left and gets right in front of her?
I mean,
Really?
I can really see what Jake says because Lydia hasn't really been down there that long, and they know all these tunnels.
He's the janitor. He knows all rooms, all doors.
It's a
all
stretch,
hallways.
but
It was bad to me. I mean, she had every bit of...
she's running with a baby. You know, Henry, he's like 50 pounds at this point. We just discussed.
Yeah,
So
well, the cloth was 50 pounds of sweat. And
Well,
then
I'm
the baby,
trying.
you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's just wet rags he's wearing. Poor
But
bastard.
come on. She was way out in front. I don't care. By the time he realizes it, I don't care what shortcut you got. Unless you show a scene of her running in circles, like, I don't know how to get out of here, and then all of a sudden he shows up, great. It just didn't convey that when you
But,
saw her running.
I mean, even still, we still come down to the gate being locked. So, like, does it really matter? We know how this ends.
Yeah, this is not a good situation either way it goes.
Did the master lock get...
Yeah,
Voorhees came out.
yeah, that's right.
Gotcha.
So, and of course, what was this guy's name who shows up with the letter? He was the
Little
saboteur.
blonde boy. I don't know.
God, I can't remember his name. And
Captain Convenience?
yes,
I
thank
believe
you.
is what his name
Look,
is.
I've got this letter. You know, and Sonny and the widow have
what?
joined together. You know?
No, nothing that I did in the past 5 minutes really matters anymore. We've got to go tell him.
We've got to get this to him.
Quinn has to
You
know.
And so you got Vale in there, and you know we're losing a little article, and this is where Quinn takes his shirt off, and I'm sorry, this was not a scar.
This is a birthmark. Just give him a break.
Yeah. How about the continuity of his slashes? A few here, a few here, one here. You know, it was very
Well, it's like they
Mod
do.
Podge. You know,
They do the cross marks before they start coming back with the hash marks. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So
So
it's
make a
like-
series of 5.
So it's like put all the cross marks on there, and then start filling up your hash
Your
marks.
tallies, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but you know what? If his looked just as good as Sonny, it probably wouldn't have been as good. You know, I mean, so him not being as complete as him
Yeah.
is probably for the better. You know, so I didn't have a problem with all that stuff. I thought it was unique that it was almost incomplete in comparison because there's nobody supposed to be as fulfilled as Sonny's. You know what I mean?
How would y'all do your kill marks?
Oh, I'd have to be symmetrical. I mean, like if you, I'm sorry, I couldn't have one random over here and one over here on the gut.
Can't see his back though.
No.
It's like, yeah, it's symmetrical. I'm tattooing fucking dolphins on his back.
Oh, God.
It's just a bunch of child drawn dicks all over.
So, now you're talking like sabotage. There's like a giant penis on your back. Yeah,
Oh man, your kill marks are the best.
yeah really. Wow.
It's super bad. Just oh, it's a real veiny one. What was it?
Why they call you Dick Back?
We have derailed. It's time to cut it down here. Anyway,
Oh, God.
you know, I thought it was, you know, like I said, it was good. Vale's going to pull out this straight razor here. Cool as hell. I love those straight razors, man. There's, you know, it's kind of crazy that she has access to such a thing. You know, that was brought up on social media. Like, where did she get to have this? You know, this razor.
She might have still had it, and like I don't see that being implausible. I mean, I feel like there's weapons.
I
lying
don't think it's
everywhere.
implausible. I'm just thinking it's funny that on social media people like buzz us a lot, and that somebody brought that up and people were supporting it, like, oh, how in the heck would she get a hold of a weapon like this? I'm like,
Was there not a scene of her shaving Quinn early this season?
there was a shaving scene, but I don't remember if it was her doing it or not.
But either way, there's like 400 men down there apparently now.
400.
So,
Yeah, we're keeping it monopolizing it.
I mean, there's going to be a stray razor blade somewhere.
Yeah.
Stole it off Edgar's twitching body.
Oh,
There you
She
go.
laid the pipe on him.
yeah.
Literally.
You are wrong on so many levels, my sir. Anyway, so I guess you're all right. Now, tell me this: she pulls this thing out, and she's got this above her head, right? And then Lydia busts up in there and goes, "Hey, hey, hey, hey!" Quinn lifts his head up, and you can clearly see the blades in her hand.
Well, not
right?
only that, when she tries to open it, she actually hits Quinn with the razor blade.
Okay.
It touches him.
And so you see this, and then it cuts away real quick, and then it cuts back to a scene of her dropping it with his head back down.
And you hear the thud, and I was like,
And I did this 2 or 3 times. I was like, okay, you just showed him the knife or the straight razor, and then they cut away to his head being back down to you to drop it. It was kind of like a little editing oops.
I don't know. I enjoyed him. Have you no shame, woman?
Yeah, now his lines are awesome.
Yeah.
Now, in fairness, Quinn might have just been completely wrapped up in the moment. And
He
not
could have. For all you know, his eyes are closed, and he's just, he's in it,
Thinking with his other brain.
Yeah. I mean, she's a gorgeous woman. So, I mean, it's not impossible. I thought it was funny that, the editing shows his head come up, just, like you would see it, and then next it comes back down, it cuts away. But that's the only one I saw like that of the whole entire episode.
Yeah.
So, I do think it's kind of crazy that Lydia's like, I'm escaping. Wait, we got to go tell Quinn. Everything's, and he's like, all right, cool. Go tell him.
Never mind
no.
the fact that you tried to run away with Henry.
Yeah.
It wasn't that she was trying to tell Quinn. She was trying to tell Vale that Sonny's alive.
Well, yeah, but I mean, she got out.
How she got away from the guy who caught her at the gate. You know what I mean?
This was a no-name. This is a guy with no name tag.
Oh, this is henchman number 2?
Yes. This is ugly, wrinkled face guy number 3.
Whoever this actor is, we apologize
Yeah.
for Jake and his completely
Rudeness.
insensitive
No, there was a casting call. Guys with weird faces.
ass face.
Hey, he's not on Preacher yet. All right.
That's arse.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, so and then that's kind of the unveiling that hey, he's alive. And you see
Vale's
Vale's
reaction
is money. Good stuff. And then Quinn's kind of like, oh shit, and that's kind of the end of their whole little story arc.
Not consummated.
Not consummated whatsoever. Something I was going to mention about those candles. Did you notice when we were talking about that ceremony? I meant to say, and I was really impressed, is that you noticed that there was a lot of those that had been melted down and had like oozed onto the different set pieces and like that, and it was a really really cool effect. And I applaud who's creating some of these things to give that visual effect, because there was a couple times in this show that became a real prominent thing again, and I definitely appreciate that.
And I mean, it was somebody's job to literally watch candles melt.
Burn, yes, there's no doubt. So let's go back to Sonny, MK, and Baji. By this time, the plan has executed, and we have, mind you now, 2 vehicles leaving the premises. 2 dose.
And she gave Sonny
10 people.
1 person and 10 people. I don't know if he was included in the 10, so it was like 9 and 1, or if it was 10 plus 1.
That is correct.
But max at 11.
Now, right before this happens, you get to see the defector, the guy who
Yes.
had that, and he comes in there with his, the ball head beaten up pretty good, and it puts on a pretty good show of,
I thought he did a great job.
of convincing. I was so worried like he was going to be cheeseball, and they were going to accept cheeseball on this, and they did a really, really good job. So well
They
written
feigned
lines.
it, and then Widow's like, yeah, that's cute and all, but no. What's the real reason?
Right. And I thought all that was really, really good. Tilda's reaction in the background was good.
Did you find it interesting that he didn't say Sonny was involved at all? Or do you think that would have given it away?
No, I don't think it was on purpose. You don't say Sonny. I think the whole deal was just MK. I did think it was strange that MK, the name MK was brought up by Tilda. Like he's like, it's just some initials and so on.
I don't think that was weird because
she brought it up. You know what I mean?
She still likes him.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she's definitely got a soft spot for the boy.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Wow.
That new butterfly.
I don't know when she
I'll take
said.
her over MK any day.
Well, when Tilda said
Poor
MK, it lit up.
But so like I said, I thought that was good. Well done. What I did not like about this, no Waldo for a second episode.
In name, his name was brought up.
Whoopee.
But yeah,
Okay.
it's not the same.
I need Stephen Lang on screen being
It's
a
2
smart
regions
ass.
down.
Yeah.
2 regions down.
Yeah, I mean, so I need him to be on
taking
screen.
deuces.
Yeah.
Waldo's
Oh man,
very difficult.
man, you went there so wrong. So they leave, and sure enough, we get to the part where this is the whole setup. We're at this.
Mm-hmm.
We're going wine or whiskey. The barrels everywhere. And so
tasting glasses all over the place.
Yeah, and then there's one spot where there's 5 beer bottles that are turned upside down in a little deal, and it's purely there just so a sword can cut through all 5 of them above a person's head.
No. Those were the taps.
No, those are glass bottles. I rewounded it. It was literally 5 bottles.
I agree with you that it's taps, but I'm pretty sure they had nozzles on them at the bottom to open up the kegs up. I'm not crazy.
Are you a connoisseur or something there?
I am. Maybe I'm an alcoholic. All right,
Get off me.
we're gonna deal with this right now.
But anyway, so they get there, and again, like we said, 10 plus 1. Okay.
How many white shirts die?
At least 37.
I really, really want to go back, rewind, and count.
We should. That's a good.
I
idea.
want to say 10
Or we can
arrived,
make it
37 died.
Hold on though. They arrive at this warehouse and there's one already there. So maybe there were more guys in the warehouse.
There shouldn't have been, though, is the thing.
If they were there as an ambush to an ambush,
No, I'm just saying they pull up and a dude opens the door for them, remember?
yeah.
And they drive right in. There might be more guys there. That's the only plausible reason I can give them.
But there shouldn't be, is the thing, because she just gave him these people.
10 plus 1. I know.
And so, like, if she had an ambush set up, theoretically, I would think that she would want to be there for it as well.
I think she's underground. She don't want to come
And
out
see,
of nowhere.
I didn't see a guy waiting. What I saw was a guy opening the door. For all you know, that's one of the 10 who just opens the place up for them to have this meeting.
Very possible. There's no middle scene. We don't know.
And like her whole comment to her region over there was
So
is
our
that
people don't have to die.
so our people don't have to die or whatever. So there's no way I believe there's more than 10 whites. But let me tell you, Sonny kills over 10 solo. And then you throw the
killed
widow, the Tilda, and everybody else.
MK's got at least 5.
I mean, our kill count is well over 30. And man,
Was happy to see butterflies getting their asses tore up.
Yes.
thank you. I saw at least 2 or 3 get sliced in half, killed, whatever you
Yep.
want to call it. And I put that in my notes. Like, yes, they are vulnerable. They can actually die. Well, not only that, how great was it to actually see clippers from somebody else that can actually fight and do something?
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
these
Even
Clippers
Sonny
were,
was having
yeah.
a deal.
I mean, these Clippers were legit. Widow struggled a little bit. Like you said, Sonny was struggling.
Tilda
in the
had to
fight.
do some special moves to get out of situations. I mean, there was this was the most realistic like clipper battles. You know what I mean? That did not involve main characters being so dominant. You know what I mean? Because every other time it's been like one is just decimates the other. You know what I mean? And this time we actually have a good mixture of folks.
At what point is MK going to know how to fight?
Never.
Well, I think he has skills.
But he's defensive.
Yeah, he's
Mostly.
not an aggressive attacker. You see that when he does the flying 30-foot kick across the air,
Well, I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, I think he's just defensive because he's afraid of losing control.
I'm just saying the Abbotts trained him constantly, day
Correct.
in, day out. And they're like the best fighters. You know what
Well,
I'm saying?
Sonny trained him for a while too. So I mean, he's got skills.
He does.
But like you said, I'm with you. Most of his fighting looks like he's defending himself.
Well, it
not
always
an
looks like he's
aggressive.
being backed into a corner, like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I just always I don't feel like they give him enough. I mean, somebody is always saving his ass. I mean, always.
Correct.
And I'm just surprised by that. I feel like he should know more skill at this point. He's got to be better than the average clipper.
Correct.
I mean, not really. I mean, he's really only been fighting, what, a year, if that?
No, it's longer than that.
No, because he wasn't fighting before Sonny found him. Sonny didn't start training him immediately.
Yeah.
He's been with the Abbotts like 9 months. So, I mean...
He's got enough skill. To
And
me,
the Clippers really haven't been fighting necessarily. Because like I said, the wars didn't happen.
No, but I mean, they've been training since they were kids, most of them,
I
would
agree.
say.
I agree.
I mean, he's pretty far behind, even though he's had excellent teachers. And I think he's still got like that thing in the back of his head, like, oh my God, I killed my mom. Like, I don't want to be an aggressive fighter.
Yeah.
That's just how I'm looking at it.
All right, well, let's back this up for a second. Widow gets there, does her big surprise, and then Sonny
Prevents her from...
magically shows up and right beside her and puts the sword to her throat. And her first response, which is her only response, is that I know where Vale is. Don't kill me. I'll take you to her. Da 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 da. You know what I mean? And then it turns into, okay, now I'm on your side. Just that quick, which I was fine with all that. The thing that was kind of curious is that Baji never joins in the situation. Gets to the window and watches.
I was okay with that.
Yeah, I didn't want to see him get in there. I think he wanted to see how it would play out.
I don't see what he would have contributed to the fight.
I don't know. We're talking about a guy who can do...
Oh, fantastic fighter.
Backflips.
Yeah.
But
Well,
like,
did you see Stephen Fung's tweet? At Sammo Hung. Is that how, I think it's how you pronounce his name, or Hong. Anyway, a little more robust man that can do some heck of a lot of moves and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I'd actually seen him in some different films, and so it was pretty cool. It was a shout out. So,
But like, I mean, him just like coming into the middle of the fight after our people had already pretty fairly had it handled. Like, I didn't see him adding anything to the scene.
I'm gonna go ahead and be premature on this and go ahead and talk about it. We have some theories out there about who Flea might be.
All right, hit me with something.
And so people were like, well, like maybe it's Widow, maybe it's somebody, maybe it's Tilda, this, that, or so on. And, I kind of like the idea, like we talked about, and which this also came from a viewer, is that you have to think that when this Flea was around, that this was many, many years ago. Small, skinny, whatever you want to call it. Are we to believe that possibly Baji is watching and realizes that the Widow is the Flea and did not go in there because of that? And that's what our next episode is going to be, is the revelation of,
I hope not.
I know who you are.
I really hope not.
Should I unveil my
Yes.
massive, reaching
Yes.
theory?
Complete dog shit? Yes, by all means. Go right ahead.
No. This is beauty in the making.
I'm
Okay.
happy you're sitting on that couch over there.
So I unleashed this mass text out to my boys here that I think Baji is MK's dad, and Flea might be the mother that MK
May or may not have.
may or
murdered.
may not have killed. And the reason she fleed.
No pun intended.
Well, remember he said she just ran. She didn't say bye or nothing. She just ran. Was maybe because she was pregnant and wanted to get away. So that's my crazy theory. I do have the feeling that MK didn't kill his mom. Maybe he thinks he did.
Well, they're definitely giving some clues about that, about what the whole, don't believe everything. You can't trust the mirrors, that kind of stuff.
Right. And if you remember, it's his mom that was the one with the book and stuff, right?
Yes.
That he got about, what's the name of the damn city again? God,
Starts with an A.
Azra.
right? And now Baji wanted that compass real bad and takes it too. So if he thinks that'll lead him to Flea, I think my theory is possible, at least.
It is possible. I will give you that. I guess it just depends on how long ago Baji was with Flea, what the time scale is.
Or how old Baji is.
Correct.
Well, we found out the master's like,
160?
yeah, old as shit. So the abbots can obviously live long time.
I
Well,
get you.
the ones with the powers can.
What you have to also understand is that we want to believe that everybody is just human like us, but this is an alternate reality. You
Yeah.
know, and for all you know, lifespan is much different for different things or whatever. So those are the little tidbits of information we don't have. But I think what you've said is not complete dog shit, but it is. It's stinking, but it ain't. I don't see the turd.
Yeah.
It's got possibilities.
And there's no way Baji would know MK was his son either. They've never met.
Then Flea is going to have a much different ethnic background for MK to even be Baji.
We saw her. You know what I mean? And she is. She looks like she's of either Latin descent or Middle Eastern descent. So,
yeah, it's that's going to have to be a part of it. But I don't know. You know, I mean, if we saw his mother did not look like a formidable person who was a fighter or.
Well, she didn't have to be since she had the power.
Yeah.
and Flea's not supposed to look formidable. Just a little teeny woman.
I agree. Like I said, 100% plausible.
Yeah.
You know, it is plausible. Do I think that's what's going to happen? Absolutely not. No.
How do I put this gently?
Here's my thing is that there is a reason Baji did not go with them, and there's a reason Baji was given a key to go on his own, and there's a reason Baji followed to go and witness this. And so what is in this fight, or what is in this room that he needs to witness by himself to make it something worthwhile for the next episode as a reveal? So to me, my estimation of all that is that the reason they kept him separate as a follow, to see it from a distance, not get involved, is because he sees something, and the only thing that we have a mystery on right now is who Flea is or what his motives are for Azra. And so out of that room, the only thing I can figure is that he's witnessing Flea possibly. And think about somebody, if you had a distinctive look that you would recognize, even if you were much older, the Widow's got to be right up there with that hair, you know, color and distinctive, you know what I mean, things of that nature. So
Who has the book?
the Widow does.
Or does Vale have it?
But didn't
Widow, Widow told her to keep looking at it, but then gave her up.
Okay.
So she still has the book.
but MK told Baji about the book
Yes.
and who has it.
Correct.
So that could be why he wants to come near to get the book.
It's very possible. Yeah.
So
I don't know. I mean, it's just the way I look at that and stuff. But the fight scene itself, I thought it was well choreographed, pretty cool. None of it was that ridiculous. I can fly 37 feet across the air or that kind of stuff.
No,
I thought that the spins, the moves,
Actual killing blows.
Yeah, I actually liked that the good guys were actually in peril in different places. You had
Tilda, the stab in the head was pretty awesome.
Yeah, dude. You know, and then not only that, the reverse stabs to the gut, something they come over the top of her.
Oh yeah, flip the blades.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty sweet. I love that she's got the two short blades. You know, it's not like she has, you know, the Widow's long distance and knives, but swords and stuff like that. I love that they have their own personality with their own weapons.
But I've got to say, I've completely soured on Silver Moon's sword. This thing is just ridiculous.
Yeah, when you see it next to her neck with all the little hoops on it, it was cool the first 10 times we saw it.
Like, yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
it just seems
still
too
pretty
big.
cool.
I think there's a reason we keep seeing it, and it just makes me believe that Moon's going to be coming back for his sword.
Yeah.
You know, that's a part of it. You know,
I think the sword's just too big for Sunny is the problem for me.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is too is that is Moon going to come back and look like Merle with a handmade dagger stuck to his nub? You know.
Oh man,
He should be.
Yeah.
or just be like Ash and we just give him a chainsaw hand. Hey, look, I just got
look.
scars. I've been watching.
This
Ash
is my
vs. the Evil
boomstick.
Dead, so
Anybody you
wants
primates
some?
touch me?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Shop smart. Shop S smart. Yeah, I don't know. I thought this fight was pretty badass. I mean, I think they did a pretty good job. I agree. There's kind of too many white shirts. Obviously, I think that numbers don't. If you did go back and watch, the numbers won't add up.
They will not.
I will say Tilda doesn't really even need knives. Give her infinite throwing stars.
yes.
She is a monster. No one could get even close to her.
She just needs a baggie. It's got about 30 of them in them, and she just flings them, goes by and picks them off their skull, and goes to the next one, flings it, picks it out their skull.
Deadly with throwing stars.
Yes.
Give her like the just 7 throwing knives and stuff. So
Oh, yeah.
you said she can just easily pick them up. And
It's
stuff.
like Desperado. Just have the vest that just has them everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Just
Danny
pull-
Trejo style.
Yeah, pulling them from everywhere.
Do we
Just-
give her the tattoo as well?
well, if they show her chest with a giant, lady on her chest.
Things can get awkward.
Oh, that would be terrible.
Artemis, no.
Oh my gosh. There it goes. We have derailed again.
But no, I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know.
All she has to do is like throw a rock at you with her left hand, distract you for a split moment, and then 3 throwing stars will be in your face. I mean, death.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. There was some people on social media calling BS on the ninja stars. Like, even if it did penetrate, your skull, it wouldn't kill you as fast as it does. Or if it did hit you in the body or your face, it would not kill you. It would just be a 2-inch deep wound to your face.
To which I respond, rule of cool.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Show that body going, ah!
yeah, really. You know what I mean?
He ain't getting up and fighting anymore.
Yeah. And so
my eyes. You hit some special part of the brain. I don't even know why I'm here.
Yeah, right.
Lobotomies.
It's regarding Henry right here now.
I'm not even sure
How
what I'm
many
doing
movie comparisons we throwing out here today? All right.
I mean, you just pulled regarding Henry out.
I mean, it's classic. Anyway, so like I said, there's 30, 35, 40, 47 white bodies on the ground. And Chow, she's lost 3 regents in a row.
Yeah,
I mean, you really think about it. She lost one at the conclave. Then she loses one. He's the first death at the widow's, ambush. Actually, that's another reason there wasn't more white dudes there. They dropped Homeboy from the ceiling, so they were there before it even went down. And his throat's cut. And then she runs through the other guy, So, I mean...
Next
Why'd
person
they
that
kill
gets...
the guy? Why'd they kill him? His info was completely...
legit.
Solid. Other than not seeing the River King around.
Yeah.
But before we go any further, we did not discuss the 2 moments that make me so angry about any episode that ever comes on here. Sonny and the Widow go back to back. We get a knowing slow-mo, glance into each other's eyes, glance back at the scene.
Hey,
they could have got away with one of them. But then they bounce up onto the top of this little table thing, and they look at each other again, slow mo, and then they look back at the fight, and they go back at it. I'm just like,
obviously, the writers and directors are giant Charlie's Angel fans because this was like the repeat of Charlie's Angels.
I get huge douche chills when I get this. It's awful.
I'm not a big fan of that either. It's just like when we were at the conclave and they bounce up onto that tail and they all look at each other with their weapon and the wind's blowing and, here I am,
There might as well have been a Creed song playing.
Oh.
Oh, no, I'm not even going to do it.
Please don't.
I'm not. I thought about it. It's like, no.
I'll be armed.
They can go far away from doing that ever anymore.
Yes.
It's just that is so not the rule of cool. That is just the total opposite of please do not do. There's cheese balls rolling out of our box everywhere. I know what you're saying. I was hoping to bypass it.
They haven't built that like chemistry, you know what I'm saying? We're not talking about Riggs and Murtaugh. You know what I mean? Where they have a connection.
Yes, there's no doubt.
I just don't want to see that anymore.
That's fair.
No, I mean, back to back. Just don't look at each other like we got this. You know what I mean? The only thing of more cheese is they turn around and give each other a high five when it's over.
Just a little pat in the butt.
Yeah.
Good job.
Good job.
Good for Sonny, bad for Widow. Yes.
How dare you? He's got a tight bun back there.
See you in the showers after.
Yeah. But I feel you, man. It
Just can't do it.
You can't do that.
Can't do it.
It's the second time we've had the Charlie's Angels,
montage,
and it's just not necessary. All right, so again, we're left with the whole situation of Baji's out there. We don't see what's happening with him. Quinn is just unveiled that he knows Sonny's on his way, and he's partnered with a widow. And so it's like a backstab to a backstab to a backstab. And that's kind of where we were left. Hanging is and then, of course, with Veil, the look of, oh, my gosh, he's alive.
Yeah.
So we have 2 episodes left, and, of course, the preview.
Let's not even talk about it. I hope people didn't see it. I wouldn't talk about it.
I'm with you. I say we just completely don't even mention it. Because it is, if you have not seen the preview, which I'm going to guess most of you have, it just
join me. Like, stop watching the previews. Be surprised.
We got to talk to these people. Whoever's putting these previews together.
Well, the problem is it's like sent to a third company, and they don't care about plot or anything, and they just create the best looking trailer.
Yeah.
So I mean, AMC, just start doing your own commercials.
I mean, think about this episode here. I mean, it wasn't until the last 10 minutes did we get the scene of Sonny putting the sword up to the widow's throat.
mm-hmm.
That's 50, out of an hour, 50 minutes in, we know what's about to happen and what's going to happen in the episode.
For the majority of the episode, Sonny's not in danger, which obviously you probably already know since he's the main character.
Exactly.
But, he's at the end of the episode.
I just, that's, you got to stop that, bottom line, and that drives me bonkers. But again, like I said, going over the entire episode, I think that to me, it was a slight improvement from last week. I do like there were some really cool fight scenes. I love some of the violence they had. I thought that they did a really good job with acting with some other characters who have not have not been the highlight of the episode so much. But they did have some Charlie Angel moments, and they did have some other stuff that could have been left off. But other than that,
I mean, not the best writing, but like you said, some of the best acting that we've had in the series. A lot of the lighting was really good. I personally enjoyed a lot of the costumes, nipple clamps and all. And
that's whatever you're into, bro.
We're all about acceptance here.
Oh, thank you.
Some things.
Yeah. Anyway, guys,
Zach's dick tattoos.
Oh, wait, no, that's
and I've lost my train of thought. Yes, guys, if you enjoyed the episode or thought we were ridiculous with dick tattoos or anything else, or we're too far one way, too far another, whatever, let us know. We've for the last few weeks we've been kind of a little more critical on the show than we have in the past, but again, the show has done some things that kind of makes you scratch your head. But we've got a lot more comments, a lot more emails, a lot more stuff coming in because of these things. And if that's something you enjoy, or you enjoy, or like to debate, or whatever, we enjoy it. So don't hesitate to contact us. Like I said, we're on Twitter, Flea TV Podcast. We're on Facebook. We have now started adding to YouTube.
Yep.
We have a channel on YouTube, so if it's easier to listen on that, hey, more power to you. We've heard complaints about podcast apps and everything else. But give us a shout. Let us know what's going on. But other than that, guys, like I said, one of our fave shows. And we look forward to the last 2 episodes, in which I can't believe is about to happen in 2 weeks. So
crazy.
But other than that, we're going to call it a night. This is Bleed TV, and I'm Zach.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Cash.
And we'll see y'all next week.